Good morning, YouTube. How you feel after losing that hour's worth of sleep? Everything hunky-dory? See if I can study the chat better if I put it on that side of the screen, maybe. There we go. All righty, folks. I doubt this thing retained anything from last night. No, it didn't. Well, happy Sunday, folks. Been a while since I've gotten up in the morning and it was dark outside. Just have to live with it. There it is. I'm just trying to get the keyboard set up, folks. All right, we are ready. Now all we need is some customers that aren't sleeping in. I wonder how long Roger the Dodger was on last night. What a great guy. That's what that was. It'd probably help if I got out of top chat and got my butt into the live chat. That can't hurt, that's for sure. And let me see what we got going on here. Jaden, what's up, son? How we doing? Oh my goodness, there are some people up. Hannibal, hello. Let me see if I can take a look at your sites, guys. Sometimes I can. Do. Jaden, how come you don't have any content? Don't worry, I've got a channel like that too. And let me check out Animal. Well, welcome to the stream, guys. Usually we have a few more people in here. Let me take care of you guys real quick so you don't get accidentally bumped out by anybody that comes to visit. Hopefully this is working. And there we go. So what you guys up to this early Sunday morning? That feels a lot earlier than it should. Just trying to catch up on my mail a little bit, guys. Never get any that's worth reading, really. So, anyway, welcome to the broadcast. Unlike my mother network, I guess, the Canadian Drone Hub, they talk about a lot of things. We talk about anything you feel like talking about here. Just about anything. That is for sure. These are a little bit bigger. Still not quite as thick as I'd like them. Been doing some 3D printing coins for the children's church. Well, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, I have a feeling my usual crowd is sleeping in to make up for that hour we lost last night. Yes, indeedy. Well, nameless droner, good morning, sir. How are you adjusting to the hour? I will admit, I had a little bit of a hard time getting her rolling this morning. I may just have to take me a power nap before I have to go to church. Oh, Lordy. Asgard, Hugh, I owe you an apology. I did not ever get you invited in yesterday, and I do apologize. I really do. I did not get around to sending you an email, my friend. If I can find out where I put my AOL, it's in here somewhere. Actually, let me try something. Well, there's how you do that. And oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Hugh. Yeah, well, I don't know. You were in the chat for a little bit, and I went back and looked. And I went, oh my gosh, that's Hugh. I forgot to invite him. If you would like an invite, I will send you one today. But I understand if you're not feeling very well. but it will give me some practice at sending them. Well, half capacity is better than zero. I'll tell you that much, my friend. This is interesting. Oh, it's that button. So. Yeah, that was sure interesting. Well, we'll see what I can do. I think I sent you one, Hugh. I'm still trying to get used to this Apple product. Yeah, it's a bad thing if it's going to rain, Nameless. You need to get out there early. Yeah, for some reason, I have to wear these confounded things or there's a feedback. I never got that on the laptop, but I seem to be getting it on the iMac, which is a small price to pay for this picture. This picture's awesome. Nothing yet. Let me double check. Now it's sitting in the outbox. Okay, let me see. I don't see any way to force a send and receive on this machine. Well, it says it's sending it. No, for some reason it won't send it. It says to try it with AOL, so I'll try it again. Still learning. I don't like this mail program that they have on here, but what can I say? Man, that's some slow stuff. I hear that, buddy. I hear you. Well, that mail program that's built into this thing seemed like a good idea at the time. Well, let me try this. It should be almost there. I hope. Rodney Bell. I am most definitely going to have to find what I did with the AOL. Okay. I don't know why it won't let me start my Chrome now. Very interesting. Well, Rodney's right above you there, bud. Okay. Okay. I promise you guys, I'm trying to figure this out. I want this working and other people decide to wake up this morning. Okay, compose. Okay, guys, let's see how it works when I send it through the actual AOL program instead of trying to use that, I call it a surrogate program that's on here, because it doesn't seem to want to. Doesn't seem to want to work. Yeah, this setup will work good.
Well, good morning.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, Hugh, hope you feel better, bud.
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, whatever this is,
Kind of sitting in the dark there, aren't you, bud?
Well, it's dark here. Yeah, got the computer on.
I hear you, buddy. You're
then you get the best lighting. Then I look the best. Look how beautiful I am.
There you go. Less light, look better.
Good for my beard.
That works. That works here too. Ah, Lordy. Well, I'm getting better at it. I know I have to use AOL to send those things. I can't use the built-in mail program.
That's weird. That's just very strange.
Yeah, and AOL went that fast because I don't know. It's different.
Yeah. Well, that's okay, Rodney. You could lurk from afar.
Well, that's okay, Rod. No problem. I just didn't want you to feel left out.
He just wants to admire my beard. Here we go. Look at that.
Is he jealous?
Well, he cut all his off. You see his face now? He's hardly got any weight on the front end of his head now. I'm afraid he's going to tip back and fall over now.
Yeah, my wife won't let me grow one, so I keep her happy.
Well, my wife doesn't like it, but what are you going to do? That's what's everybody up to this morning.
So, how'd you enjoy losing an hour of sleep?
Oh, did it shift this morning?
Yeah, it should have.
I didn't even notice.
It's 6:24, 6:24.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that actually worked out well. So I guess I'm not up as early as I thought.
There you go. See? I had a heck of a time getting rolling. I woke up right away, but boy, the body did not want to get out of that bed.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm always up really early. Well, partly because I got a puppy right now, and the dog wakes me up all the time. But I don't know. I always have been up early, and just I've never been able to shake that early thing.
Now, since I came in the Army, I've never slept in past 6 o'clock. So.
Yeah.
Unless I was flying nights, that's a different story.
That must have been exciting.
Yeah, it's nice being out at 4:30 in the morning. There ain't nobody else hardly out there.
I bet. I'm looking forward to flying drones at night coming up in June here in Canada. That's going to be quite a thrill.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, you fly your drone at night up there in, or I should say, down there?
Not yet. I don't have a strobe. I keep spending my money on all this other stuff. I'm probably not going to get strobes anytime soon.
You're 3D printing like a madman.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I just got done doing for Children's Church today. I did those for them.
It's kind of grainy. What does it read?
Oh, it's across the top. It says that it's United Methodist Church, which is the hardest part to read. And then it's underneath that. It says prayer works here.
Oh, there
and
you
right
go.
Dead center in the middle, it says Jesus saves.
There you go. Very cute.
So if they get their Bible verses right this morning, the teacher will give each one of them one of those.
Morning, Manic.
Manic. Let's see how fast. Well,
Manic.
better yet.
Trevor, you beautiful bastard.
Let's see how well I can do this.
That's another man with a beautiful beard. I appreciate men with beards. What can I say? That's because I just recently grew this thing, so I'm all excited about beards now.
I'm trying to remember what Manic's email is. What's it start off with? Ooh, I don't need to know. I didn't know I could do that.
Let's see.
That's pretty cool.
Here, now we got some light. Look at that.
Oh, I can just find Manic.
Washington County News Station, Utah. Good morning.
King Pizza, that's him. And as long as I'm sending him one, I'm going to send Paul Murray one if he ever wakes up. Because I know he was up late last night with Roger and friends.
I was in bed at 7:30 last night.
By the new time or the old time?
By the old time.
So you actually went to bed at 8:30.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, Mel laughed.
That was yesterday. So yesterday it was still 7:30.
Mel laughed at me. I said, I was telling Roger last night, hey, I'm on the same time as you are for right now. It's 10:30. I got to go to bed. And he goes, you weren't supposed to turn our clocks ahead yet, Rick. I says, yeah, you think I'm getting up at 2:30 in the morning to turn my clock ahead so I can go back to sleep?
It's funny. I was watching that video of Ken Heron. I'm watching Mel hold his drone, and Ken comes over and says, hey, can I fly your drone? And I can just see the machines turning in Mel's head. You want to fly my drone now? Shit. I'm on TV. I can't say no. Shit. And hands over the drone. I could just feel the terror.
Okay, Rodney, get you some coffee, buddy.
And now I'm going to chase this other drone.
Oz by drone. Good morning or good evening, I guess, considering where you are. It would be evening. Welcome.
G'day, Oz by drone. How's the trouble and strife? iSpike taught me that.
The trouble and strife. Ah.
The wife.
Ah. I got you. I bet if Spike's wife ever hears that, he's going to be a dead man.
She'll probably come to Canada, hunt me down, and dispatch me. Beat me with a kangaroo tail or something.
And he even got up early this morning to be here. So
Osby Drone says, looking sexy in bed next to me. Well, that's the way to have it, my friend.
And you're on the internet? What the hell is wrong with you?
Talking to a bunch of ugly old dudes like us? What the heck?
Good morning, Baduga. Now, let me see something.
G'day, Baduga.
I actually have. Problem is I can't remember.
There he is.
Oh.
Hello. I put the alarm on for you.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to remember Baduga's. There it is. I got him. And just in case.
I love saying Baduga. It sounds like it should be like the horn of an old car.
Dangerous.
Baduga.
I'm getting good at this.
Watch out. You're going to have a full Canadian Drone Hub list of squares at the bottom of your screen.
Hey, I'm waiting to see if I can melt this thing. It's amazing what a little bit of resolution does. And, well, of course, you're talking about what's a normal laptop? 17-inch? 15-inch?
Yeah, 15.
Yeah, this Mac is 21. I'm glad I didn't get to 27 because it would have been hanging over in front of the printer and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, but it's not a laptop, right?
No, it's one of those iMacs.
Oh, okay.
It's a standalone.
Is that your new artwork, Trevor?
Yeah, that's a sneak preview on my banner for the Redneck channel.
That looks like my family portrait, man. Where'd you
Hang on, let me keep that up there, buddy.
That's a sneak preview.
The lady in the doorway, is she wearing any kind of shoe?
No shoes.
Okay, barefoot. That's you got that part right.
And see the farmer there? He's got his raccoon hat. I said, we've got to make you a raccoon hat, mate. The one in the white.
Lens.
Is it? Oh, man.
Yeah, there you go. Now we can see the whole thing.
Yeah, so that's farmer, the raccoon hat with the white singlet. That's the one that's on my icon for him.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
That's farmer. And I'm hoping to darken the background of the Australian flag and put a kangaroo in front like I've done with the artwork with the American eagle and sort of make it look really nice. So I'm in the process. So I've just done the link. I'm doing other stuff to it. I've got to put all like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that up on the top to show that's what we have. And I've already done that within the actual banner, original banner that I've got now that I've only just got temporary. And
I feel right at home, bro.
So that will work out really well. That will work out really well, won't it?
Now, the funny thing is, Trevor, I grew up on a trailer park. I used to have a raccoon hat.
Oh, you didn't?
And I look like I'm related to half those people.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that.
Oh, no, that's hilarious. I love it. I love it.
I'm really... it's all supposed to be fun, and I hope everyone can laugh.
It's funny.
I want everyone just to laugh. Because
awesome.
As Farmer and I start to grow with our live chats, we'll start to get to know each other and know when someone's going to say something, because he's a very smart kid. But, again, he's still a kid. So his brain wanders.
Oh, so you and Farmer are doing this one together?
Yes, as a joint project.
I didn't know that.
Because his editing skills are good for videos.
Yeah. Where
my skills to do the thumbnails and all that stuff, I exceed on. My ideas are working, but his OBS's skills excel towards mine. So we're just putting all our skills together to make a polished program.
Nice.
Within a couple of months, because I've got my OBS screen and I've got some scenes already of the dogs running past my lake, all video, so it'll all be warm and friendly and it'll be all fun, and I'll have some rednecks here in Australia that will do some circle work that I'll do video of, and they'll be in the background, and I'll have a drum fire, and that's all on OBS, so you think that I'm actually in someone's camp. But it will be all on smoke and mirrors. So it's going to come along really well. So we've just now got to get the comedy side of it, because there's going to be parodies, going to be skits, going to be high tech for the redneck. These are all the things that we're going to have each week before we have our monthly giveaway show, where we have a group panel of rednecks. I've already got Ice Spike on board, and we're going to hopefully invite StarCop Rick on the American side, if he can, because he's a redback. And if we can sort of get a few redbacks available to go on panels each month, so it'd be different. It won't be the same rednecks every week. It's just as a invitation, and we'll promote their channels, and we'll do giveaways, and we're going to then get people to send in photos, pics, and videos as competitions of their circle work or their family parade where they all dress up as rednecks. So I'm getting the English on board as well as a around the world special, so they can actually.
Circle work? What does that mean?
Circle work is when you get your dinger or your ute in the paddock, and you just go do donuts in the soft soil, and so all the dust goes up with their Australian flags or the American flags. So he's going to get some rednecks to do that. So it's all light, harmless, but the thing is they're not going to have anyone hanging off the utes and stuff like that, we hope. But we're going to do any of the swearing. We're going to, when they put it in there, we want all the swearing, but we're going to do bleeps and that. We're going to edit it when it comes to us. So when it becomes part of our, like Ken Heron does, so when it comes to us and we then deliver it to the world, it'll have all these beeps and censored boobs and bum cracks, and but it'll be a bit of fun. It'll be a bit of fun.
That's funny.
We want to do it within, if it was just my channel, I'd go to town. I wouldn't care. But, Farmer's just messaging. He must be up. I don't know. He's crazy. But yeah, he's been sleeping, I think.
Good morning, guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Should I say bon dia?
Baduga, good morning, sir.
I'm gonna.
Manny.
How you going, buddy? A lot of fun. How are you been?
What's your name, sir?
What's that, mate?
This is Hugh from Asgard.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
I don't know his name.
You can call me Trevor.
I like to call you Manic. I don't know why.
Manic's fine. Manic's fine. A lot of people call me Manic.
You have a
beautiful bastard.
And I want to change my name to Manic because I don't care about my name too much. If my channel goes off, I'll just wear it.
You can call me anything you like except late for dinner.
Yep. I call you StarCop Rick because there's a few other Ricks on YouTube people get confused about.
I'm here trying to finish my last build and go out to fly because today is beautiful outside.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that's good.
Weather.
What country are you in, Baduga?
Portugal.
You're in Portugal, okay. I worked in the beautiful Lisboa for a while.
Oh, I'm from Lisbon. I was born and raised in Lisbon.
Oh, nice. I love the city.
I was born and raised on Moraria. I don't know if you know. Below the castle. Below the St. George Castle.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Odivelas. It's a little town around Brisbane. And now I'm on Beja, Alentejo.
I remember good food, beautiful music.
Yeah.
I remember your fado.
Fado, I like fado.
Good times. Oh, I did a build yesterday. I'll tell you what. I actually upgraded the Eachine E013. I added a new frame from the E10. Yeah, did a couple of mods yesterday. So
you have to get a Eachine E011 and upgrade that frame to it because I have one here.
Oh, Nice.
These already have the big core board, so I can fly acro with it.
Oh wow.
And these motors, instead of the HANGOUT 10, they are 7 millimeters.
Ooh,
So it
okay.
makes the whoop stronger to carry a camera.
So that's the 11?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
almost the same. The only thing that changes, instead of 6, 17 motors, you will have 716, I believe it's the correct number.
Do you know if it still works with the controller from the 13?
No, you have to change the board. But before I have this setup, I was using the board from the O13 with this frame,
Okay.
because the controller of the O13 is a little better than the Jelly Bean. This is the controller from the regular O11.
Oh, that looks like the E10
Yeah,
controller. Yeah.
oh, the 10 and the 11, it's the same.
Okay.
But if you change the board, I have the board here. This is the board from O13.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can use this board on the O11. So you get better motors. And right, the U11 cost is $11 on Banggood, if I'm not too wrong.
Oh wow. Nice. Okay.
It's a nice upgrade because the 7 millimeter motor makes a huge difference on that one.
So basically, I just stick my 13 board into the 11.
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna order one right now.
Nice, good morning, Mike.
Well, that'll be fun. Now I have to wait 7 months.
7 months? Whoa.
9 months, whatever it takes to get from China.
Oh, Banggood takes 2 weeks to send to USA. You just have to choose priority line.
I'm in Canada. It takes an extra year sometimes.
Yeah, Canada too. But I sent a friend to Kim and didn't take long to arrive. I bought him in Banggood and sent him directly to him.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get faster shipping.
Good morning, Louis.
Louis P. My goodness. Let's see if I can do this.
The O11 is so cheap, then when I need motors, I just buy another whoop. It's cheaper than the set of motors.
Yeah, no kidding. That is the best way to go, isn't it?
And
Editing.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, Trevor.
I was just trying to mute the mic. I'm on my tablet today.
See, now I'm shopping. This is dangerous.
What's up?
There goes that money.
Oh, yeah. Just tell me about it. I said on Canadian Drone Hub today, I said all this week and all the weeks before has been ramen noodles to eat. I said next week's gonna be steak because I've bought that much stuff. I just only have a little bit left. Just what I can eat off of the.
I'll be right back,
eat
guys.
anything. I just eat vegetables. I don't care.
Okay, Hugh.
But I want to do what I want to do, and I have to do it. So it's like drone flying and FPV. All costs money.
Everything costs.
okay.
The capitalist way.
Yeah. But I've saved lots of money. That's what I'm happy for. Can you see me, or have I got to push the wrong buttons?
I'm busy sending an email if I can figure out how to do it
So
again.
what I'll do is I'll put it myself on the big screen. I'll save everything.
That's what I like about my goggles. When you need to work on your quad, you just separate them and you get a screen.
P, I sent you a link if you feel like coming in.
I can't believe what Asgard said about his raccoon hat. Oh, it's so funny. I'm still laughing about it.
Let's see what I can do about this volume. Oh, that's right. It's on here.
And I was apologizing to him.
Here we go. Okay, Rodney. Have a good day in church, my friend.
How you going, Rodney? God bless you.
It's raining in Georgia. Dennis Lovelady is on. Or nope, I guess he's not.
Okay.
I guess his sunrise is getting rained out. Yeah.
Rightio. Let's put Paducah up on the chat. Hello, sweetie.
Hey, puppy.
My dog here. Can you see her? Yeah.
Saw his head, or her head.
You can look. Hey.
Oh, we lost your picture, Manic.
Now you got me.
Yep.
Right, one sec. I'm getting chat on the big screen. Wait there, sweetie. I'll let you outside. One sec. I just want to give Rick a like and get the chat up.
Ooh, I wonder what that button does.
I hate buttons. I mess around with them too much.
I've never seen that button on a keyboard. I'll check it out later.
Oh, my father used to hate me leaving me in the car if he had to pop in for something for like 2 minutes. Because I used to think, oh, what does this do? What does that do? And I'd have all the dials changed everywhere on the car dashboard. And he'd come out and he'd be so frustrated. She's going to get a feed. She's got water there. So. That's got us.
So how's your farmer friend doing, Manic?
Well, he buzzed me only 5 minutes ago, and then I can't get hold of him. So I was going to tell him to watch out your channel. Well, ask him to watch your channel, not tell him. I don't tell anyone.
I hear you. But
I'm just very...
Paducah, what flag is that hanging in the window?
It's Portuguese flag.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. I thought maybe it was I have never seen such a pretty flag.
Yeah, Portuguese flag is pretty. Man.
It is a pretty flag, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I really need to clean my desk here because I can't find it. It's FPV parts everywhere.
You probably got a couple of drones laying there in pieces, huh?
No, a few.
Oh, I better have a drink.
Whoops.
There you go.
I'm trying to save a VPX because I don't have a new one to use. I have it ordered, but it's alright. So
Welcome back, Hugh.
Oh, thanks, guys. Oh, it was ever beautiful out this morning. It's just snowing. Like it's just the whole sky is just white flakes. It's gorgeous.
Oh boy.
It's like a Christmas morning.
I don't know if you can see image we have already.
Oh,
You want to go out, do you?
Louis P. Good morning.
Hey. What's
What
going
up?
on, gentlemen?
Lewis, my friend, what's up?
Not much.
Right.
Louis, you look like you're feeling that hour you lost.
Yeah, no, definitely. Uh-oh, I have to sign on and back in again. For some reason, things aren't popping for me here. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Not a problem.
There you go, mate.
You know he's tired because this is a man who schedules his life in 10-minute segments. He's a busy guy.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore.
No.
I schedule
like, what day
myself
of the week is
in
it?
4-hour segments.
Yeah, there you go. I have to check what day of the week it is frequently. Wait a second, is it Thursday today?
Yeah, I got to check out what day it is.
10-minute segments. I heard you.
Well, yeah.
Busy guy. So, Lewis, I bought a soldering iron. I bought a kit. I bought everything I needed. And I got this thing done yesterday without even heating the soldering iron up.
Yeah, there's plug and play, bro.
But it wasn't. It wasn't when the video I saw on the ESC, the E013, there were soldering pads, but this is an upgraded version. I'm disappointed. I got a better version. I shouldn't be disappointed, but I am.
No, well, typically I buy the boards just themselves, and you have to solder. One of two things could happen. You have to solder the motors onto it,
Right.
which are in the case of the new hotness called the Alien Zero. It's a specialized tiny whoop flight board that is just super cool. You have to buy a little receiver for it too, but man, it is locked in when you fly it. It's just the crash response. Like when you hit something, you bounce off of something. The PIDs really take care of it. It levels you right back out, and you're ready to go again. On some of the other boards, it's like they're okay. It takes a little bit more for them to kind of like gather their beans and put them back in an order, and then you can fly. And then the other reason you would have to solder to is to put the camera on. So apparently this came all packaged up for yourself, right?
Do you know this camera is actually plug and play too? I was blown away. I took the canopy off, and it's like everything's got plugs on it. It was awesome. What that means to me is the whole VTX camera thing is all self-sufficient. So all I need to do is plug that into any other quadcopter's power, and I've got an FPV drone.
You do. So what I used to do back before tiny whoops were a thing, actually, it's so funny how things can run in parallel with people. I swear to God, and I'm not kidding you guys, I was putting tiny cameras on drones before tiny whoop was, because I wanted to fly FPV, and the way I wanted to learn, or I could learn how to fly FPV, was I buy these little security cameras, like $50. Had the aerial antennas on it, and it's an all-in-one. And the idea was you were supposed to buy these for security purposes and set them around your house, and then have it, you got a whole bunch of TVs or a switching station. You can see all the FPV. You can see all the cameras. Well, I took those and I started soldering them onto these other toy drones called Dromedas by Andromeda. And I swear to God, I terrorized my household with learning how to fly FPV, putting that stuff on and flying it around my house. So now this quad is like maybe about this size with decent sized props, but not going to hurt anybody if you get hit. But man, that's how I learned how to fly FPV, putting those little security cameras on. And I would just solder them into them.
Yeah, but then that occurred to me yesterday that I could do that too, and I thought, wow, that's exciting.
Yeah. So, do you have like a toy grade drone hanging around?
I have a dozen toy grade drones hanging around. Yeah, I got a lot of them.
Then, as long as you can splice into the power, those cameras will go from 5 volts to 24 volts. It's got a BEC in it, so it'll figure out how much voltage is coming in and proportion it to
just going to stick a little 1-cell battery on it and leave it
or that
self-contained, and put a Velcro. Then I can Velcro it on multiple quads.
Yep. Or that. Yep. But if you fly fast and crazy like me, I tended to knock those off.
Oh yeah.
So I would usually try and integrate it into the frame somehow.
Baby steps now, Teach. Baby steps. I'm gonna go slow.
Yeah, I broke a lot of those drones too.
Yeah. I have a lot of fun flying it. The only problem is it takes so long to get back from China. I'm afraid to break it. What you got there, Benito?
Yeah.
My last build. This is a Alizan LS210 at one of the Luminaire. And this was one of my first. I learned to fly out on this one. So I managed to put Betaflight on a CC3D board and fly with Betaflight instead of Liberty Pilot, which is...
Wait a minute. Did I hear you correctly? You have a CC3D on that?
Yep, and running Betaflight.
That's some old stuff, brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
This was my first, not my first, but my second flight. I learned to fly across this. And now I'm trying to bring it back because I want to work on my proximity flight, and I can break even, not crying about it. Because how many do I have on this squad, guys? Do you imagine? What the cost?
A battery. Holy crap, that's huge.
No, this is just a 3S.
Just looks huge.
I built this with $85.
Wow. That's not bad. $85 for everything?
These motors cost $3.50 each.
Wow. That's cheap.
How much did the motors cost?
$3.50.
Really? What are they?
$14.44.
$14.44?
Yeah. You heard of the GIU Hornet drone?
Say again?
You ever heard of the GIU Hornet?
No.
It's a racing drone. It's not like ours, but it's not cheap. It's a $250 drone. And these are the replacement motors for him. These motors are 204 to 2250 kV. You can get 4 for $14 on GeoTech. We told them, and
what ampage is on your ESCs you got there?
on this one I have 20 amps.
20 amps.
Yeah, and I run it perfect.
I've been running 30 amps for forever now, and I used to run 20 amp DYSs, but they used to desync on me, so I'm done with those.
I don't on my other quads I run 30 amps, but in this one I start to
Rodney, have a good day.
With 12 amp DSPs. Now I have 20, so it's just how
You want to hear a sad story? Banggood is sold out of Yashin E11s.
Oh, really? Try the USA warehouse.
I got one of them.
Screw you, Trevor. Put over there stealing it.
Tell it like it is there, Hugh.
So is Farmer. He's only got one too.
You have an E11? Just kidding.
Hey, so now that I have a whole bunch more time in the world, not really.
10 minutes at a time.
Yeah, it's not going to be 10 minutes at a time. Now I'm pairing with Mark from Centroid Aero Images.
Centroid.
And I'm going to be doing a build on his channel probably later next week or early the week after next. And
on Instagram, you say?
No, on Mark's channel.
Oh, excuse me. I thought you said Instagram.
No.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so he's got the whole OBS rocking. So I'm gonna try and do a couple of cameras and go through a complete build.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got an old frame, a 188 millimeter frame, smaller frame. It's going to turn out to be a 3-inch quad, but I'm rocking it out with all 4S stuff, so it's going to be a beast.
Wow. Yeah, I really enjoyed that series. You know, it was useful because I haven't touched a soldering iron in 25 years, so it was nice to just kind of watch you do those things.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Lewis, how did the play go?
It played on. Yeah, it went fun. $300. I can't complain. A lot of work, but it was fun. Oh, Night Train FPV SpeedX 30 amps, 4-in-1, baby. I'm going to be using the 30 amp SpeedX for the build that I'm going to do on Mark's channel next week.
There's a link for you on the USA warehouse. They have the China.
Banggood. That's the US warehouse.
Oh, sorry, what was that? I had to mute for a second.
Oh yeah, that's the Santa Claus one that they keep redoing and putting different people.
The Santa, in fact, is $2 cheaper.
Really? Santa's that cheap, huh?
And the Santa is the only one that you can flash the board with silver lark.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can flash the board of the Santa with silver lark.
That's hilarious.
And
16 bucks.
And if you use a model, you can fly with your regular TX.
Oh my God. 12 Santa Claus, flying Santa Claus. I can't believe it.
You've never seen those before?
I've seen Casey Neistat as the flying Santa Claus, but not one of these little dudes.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been around for a couple of years.
The first thing you have to do with the flying Santa Claus is take the speaker out because the damn thing is loud.
You're right, man, and it is freaking annoying. Oh my God.
Annoying.
You can hear that thing coming a mile away, and you're like, get that thing away from me.
Yeah, I tried mine just one pack when it arrived. The first thing I do is grab my cutter, get that.
We had 3 of them going at one time. It was ridiculous.
I have the speaker here.
Oh, this should be funny. Yeah, so imagine my surprise. I got the soldering iron all heated up, Lewis, and then I pulled the top off, and I'm like, what? What?
Well, you could have snipped the wires and soldered them together. I mean, you don't have to solder that bad.
I probably should have.
The size board of the Santa. Look at the size of the speaker. That's cheap. It's almost the size of the board, man. This is loud, really loud.
That's ridiculous.
Redneck channel. That's Manic's other channel. I know. I'm trying to get those things off of you, buddy. You know it doesn't feel good.
So, Asgard, did you practice at all before you were gonna like dive right into that small little electronics, or?
Well, practice as in like practice on different soldering pads and stuff like that?
Yeah, just
No. Dude, I'm fully committed. Once I say I'm just going to do this, I'm just going to do it.
Well, there's a difference between just doing it and doing it right.
I know. But I figured, if I effed it up, at least it would be on YouTube and it would be funny. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's kind of why I want to do those 10-minute things, because and I don't want to touch the quad before I do it, so that people can see. I just have to hit the parental
exactly.
function, because I'll be swearing it up quite a bit.
Yeah. No, I just any boring parts I add in a few. Like yesterday, I added in a random floating Viking ship when I stepped away for a second instead of editing that part out, so you can hear me moving around in the background, and then all of a sudden this 3D floating ship just goes across the screen for no reason. It's just totally random. But, I just try to do little kooky things like that.
That's good. I like it.
Hey, another Paul in the house. How you doing, Paul Murray?
Hi, Paul.
Is Brownie Man here?
No way.
Yeah,
Where is
Brownie
he?
Man's
Good
there.
morning,
He-
Paul.
I don't
You
see
guys
him.
can see the screen
Don't
on-
bother him. He's eating brownies. He's eating the breakfast brownies.
Oh my god.
Can
Oh,
you guys see the screen?
I can see the
Oh, yeah.
screen. Paducah's
Paul?
eating brownies now.
Yeah, rip it up, man.
I'm taking my quad out just to try. I will leave the screen for you guys.
Well, here's something interesting. The JJRC H67 appears to be the Eachine E011. Just
It's the same.
They're all, dude, they're all the same. They just
I
keep
know,
changing the numbers and the letters. They're all
Yeah.
the same.
No,
Even
because,
two, if you get a couple of boards next to each other, you're going to be able to see that they're the same.
oh yeah, I know all OEM stuff. I'm just wondering if I can find it by a different name. Oh yes, I can. There it is on Amazon. Ooh.
The Beta Flight boards with the OSD, they're a little pricey, but they're really good boards too, and you can
Yeah.
find them pretty cheap, pretty rangy on Amazon.
I'm actually having fun doing this sort of stuff. It's been a while. You know, I have an undergraduate degree in robotics, and then I went immediately and went to work for telecom. So I had all this robotics training 30 years ago that's absolutely useless now.
Well, I like to tell people what this is how I put it in terms. Ready? We're programming. Well, first we're building, we're programming, and we're piloting flying robots.
Yep. It's true. It's exactly what they are.
That's it. True. I can't wait to start building mine.
Yeah.
Night Train, have you dabbled into the brushless whoop yet? I'm going there pretty soon.
Ooh.
I mean, that's the size between. Okay, that's like the Baby Hawk from
Brushless
Emax.
whoop?
Yeah, oh baby, yeah. So
Yeah.
so you've got a tiny whoop, just a little bit bigger size, ducted frame.
They are running brushless
And
whoop
you've
3S
got
time already.
then brushed or brushless motors. Like I forget the kV range, but they're insane. They usually run on 2S. So some guys have two 1S batteries slid in and plugged in, and that was like maybe a year ago. Now they're more refined, where they're
You know
actually
the
selling
havoc I
2S
wreaked on the
batteries.
inside of my house with a brushed motors? Oh my god.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be really ripping it up.
My dog agrees.
See,
My dog's outside.
I'll show you a little bit in between too. Here, let me get something.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be creating a blow-up drone with all the works,
Ooh.
so I can float and fly.
Oh, he's outside. Gonna fly. Do it up.
And he's off.
I just really wish that my local hardware store would stock all these drone parts. That would be so nice.
Yeah, you and everybody else. Amazon is the big winner there. Oh, he lost video. Oh. Well, all right. So Asgard, check it out. Look. So here's the tiny whoop, right?
Okay.
Okay. So the next thing before I started flying these tiny whoops were these guys.
Wow. That's a
And
different
this
architecture.
This is a carbon fiber frame,
Nice.
brushed motors,
Yeah.
with a Beta Flight board on it.
Okay.
And
Then is the beta flights all in one? ESCs, everything's all in there?
Oh yeah, yeah. Because these are brushed or brushed motors. You just basically either plug them in or you solder 2 wires. They don't have the 3 wires; they just have 2 wires. So the motor direction is dependent on the wires. Like the black and whites are counterclockwise.
Is that a control signal or something?
No. So on brushed versus brushless motors. Brushless motors have two wires, a positive and negative. They've got how they run is there's a little brush on the coil inside. So when power is added, it only runs one way. So that brush goes this way and it hits it this way. Okay, so it runs around and it gives it power. That's why the two wires, the black and the white, are a certain spin, and the blue and the red are another spin. Okay, so they only go one way. With the brushed motors, or the brushless motors, with a magnet spun, they have 3 wires, and they're a phase. So what you can do is you can take the 3 wires, plug them in, and if they don't spin the way you want it to spin, you take and you switch the wires, and then it spins the other way.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
But nowadays, with the ESCs that we have and the suites that we have, we can change the motor direction software-wise. So that's why a lot of guys have the clean build where all the wires are in, they all go in the same way and they're all super sweet and nice and tight. But yet the motors are going to be spinning the wrong way. So they just correct it in the software.
Okay. Very nice. I'm learning things this morning.
But then if you can imagine, I got, brushless, this carbon fiber frame, and then you got this thing, which will go 70 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
Same way with this thing. So this guy here, though, a little bit bigger. I'm going to put a Turtle Cadex on here. It's a type of camera, and it's going to give me FPV with the analog signal, but it's also going to have the ability to capture HD and 1080p.
Ooh. Are you going to live stream the 1080p and fly with that?
No, you can't do that, because what happens is it captures the high def on the board.
Okay, got it.
And it's basically like the bigger quads. You put your camera on top of the core, your GoPro on it, fly it around, and then take the video and upload it.
Yeah.
Same idea here. It's just you don't have that big GoPro. You've got a small board now to replace it, and it's all impact. And this is less than a stick of butter, less than 0.55. So it's under 170 grams.
Ooh.
Legal to fly.
That's going to be my focus going forward, is all 250 gram or less drones, because I don't want to have to deal with the hassle of legal issues. And
So-
I'm a registered pilot, but I want to be able to play at night and do all kinds of fun things, right?
Yeah, and dive buildings with these little things. No,
Exactly. Now,
But-
hold
but-
on.
but-
That's got to be. I would think that's got to be illegal. Diving buildings. You're putting property at risk. I don't know. I wouldn't do it myself. But.
No, definitely not. I mean, obviously, but if it's a public place and you're not hitting anything, you could do it.
Good morning, Paul.
Morning.
Obviously, I wouldn't go over like see, there's the brownies. I wouldn't go over a place like like a federal building or like an insurance building or anything like that, because that's private property.
The Brownie Man. Good morning, Paul.
Why does his video keep going in?
Good
and out?
morning.
He's got
Good morning.
Really
there
good
we go.
video,
Now
and then
I
it's
eating a brownie.
Well, I happened to see that Rick mentioned Brownie Man, so I didn't want to step out of character.
Are you sure
But
you're not
as,
seeing things?
but as you can hear in my voice, this cold is kicking my butt, and now the winds are up, gusting to 45 miles an hour.
we're getting rain and sleety kind of rain here, so it's starting to ice.
It's absolutely beautiful here. I can't even believe how nice it is outside. Oh,
Really?
like Christmas.
Wow.
Hey, Eric,
Is
good morning.
it snowing there, Asgard?
Yeah, beautiful. Just beautiful white big flakes.
Oh,
Gorgeous. And we had rain yesterday.
it was actually beautiful here yesterday. It was like almost 35, sunny, starting to melt. I got to fly some cool spots, so it was nice.
Well, there were some guys. There were some guys like Rick on Drone Hub last night, and the temperature there was, what was it, Rick?
I don't know, but right now it's 64 degrees, heading to 82 for the high today.
Oh.
That's nice.
Where are you in Arizona? Are you in Arizona, Rick?
No, lower Alabama.
Oh, okay. Alabama.
90 miles from the Gulf.
Yep. Winds are out of the south at 3 miles an hour. No pizza today. But the humidity is 100%.
We are having 75 today, no wind.
Oh, that must be nice too.
See, there's always the yin and the yang, you know.
You guys all suck, I'll tell you that. That's horrible. I'm sitting here looking at rain and 45. It's going to be nice out, but it's raining.
Now, that begs the question. I'm surprised that more people aren't flying waterproof drones. You know, like these splash-proof drones that they've got coming out of Miami? I'm surprised everybody's not flying one of these things now.
Who's not flying them? I'm flying one. I fly in the rain all the time. I fly in the...
Do you? Oh, I didn't realize. Okay.
Dude, okay. All right. Ready, Asgard?
Oh, you in your conformal code.
Go look at my last video when I'm flying in a snowstorm.
Well, snow's different. I fly in snowstorms too, but would you
go look at one of my videos that I have. Sleet will not defeat.
Sleet will not defeat. Okay.
I'm flying around in the rain. The only problem with flying in the rain like that, and I've flown in some pretty heavy rain, it's not the electronics getting wet; it's your FPV camera getting wet.
Okay.
Splotch! You can't see anything.
Yeah, that's true. Interesting.
So, I've actually put Rain-X on my
lens,
on my lens,
Oh,
and it's perfect. It just slides right off.
So I had I was testing the floats on my Mavic Air. They were an afternoon thing. Anyway, and the Mavic Air flipped upside down into the water on landing, and it killed it. It was only in the water for maybe 10 seconds, but it completely killed the Mavic. So I'm kind of worried about water after that. I'd be less worried with a drone I built because, like, I can see when you're doing things like the conformal coatings and whatnot, you're keeping everything pretty dry and more or less weatherproof almost, right? Yeah,
well, sometimes like with the snow, it gets really, really bad because I just saw Night Train. I did the same thing with mine. You crash into the snow, you pull it out, and it's a snowball.
Yeah,
you bang it off. And try and get all the snow off from it. But more than usual, if the conformal coating hasn't worn out. Now, conformal coating does wear out.
Well, yeah, sure.
I've had quads working perfectly for a couple of good flights, and then all of a sudden they just go dead. I'm like, what's going on? And I think it might be a connection or something like that. No, it's just water hitting a certain spot that the conformal coating has come off and power goes out. So that's kind of dangerous to be flying anywhere that you're not sure about. Have conformal coating on and stuff like that, because that could always happen.
Paul, have you ever? Do you remember about 3 or 4 years ago there was a company that was, you send them your drone, they would dunk it in some kind of a brew or whatever.
Yeah.
They would do it over and over again and send it back to you, and it was guaranteed to be waterproof.
Yeah, there was this one guy that bought a whole vat. It was, I don't know if it's like Urban Legend now or FPV Legend or whatever, but this guy that bought a whole vat of this stuff and Joshua Bardwell did a review of it, and it was called Shake and Bake or something like that, where the two chemicals, you would open the two packets up and then put it into another packet and put your circuit board or any board in there and shake it, and then it would conformal coat. It would completely waterproof.
That's cool.
I don't know how well that went, as we don't see any of that on the market. Here's one of the problems that probably had that nobody really thought about is when you take all of that stuff. Let's say you take a flight controller and you put it in there, and you shake and bake, and then you pull it out, and you try and plug it in to your computer. Well, guess what? You just conformal coated and coated all of the electronics that need to touch in order to send the signal to your computer. So I was a little bit suspicious about that. Nobody said anything like, oh, this isn't going to work because of that, or nobody proved it. So I don't know. I saw it once or twice, and then that was it. I paint conformal coating on it. It looks like nail polish.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you probably could use clear nail polish and it'll work just as fine.
Well, the other thing that I've always wondered, you know how the motors are up and they're a little bit exposed or whatever. Why somebody hasn't made a tiny little cone that goes down just below, so that you could set it on there, props over top of it, and
They're called
spin the water out rather than down.
Oh, I don't know about the spinning part of it, but there are things called pants that you can put onto the bottoms of motors to keep dirt and grime and stuff out. But I found, and a lot of guys have found too, that if you put stuff like around your motors to keep dirt and debris out, number one, dirt and debris ain't going to stay out, and it's going to be worse to get in between there. And number two, it's a cooling process too that you're going to kind of shield on. So the new idea is less stuff on the bottom, just something to mount it to the quad frame and have it as exposed as possible. If you do get dirt and grime in there, you can just easily spray it out and it just comes right out in between the where the stator is and the windings, and then it is early in the morning, the magnets. So
now, Paul, do you use a typical over-the-counter electrical board and circuit cleaner, where you spray it and it cleans off?
Oh, no, like a horsehair brush and either compressed air or just really blow on it.
Okay.
Nothing too fancy. Just something to get the job done. And don't forget, the quads that I build, the only moving part is the motor. Everything else is a circuit board or wires.
Well, no, technically, the whole thing's moving. It better be.
Well, yes. Hey, Mitch is on. Old guy in a drone. I'm the only one that says his name right.
Yeah, I've heard him introduced before as old man in a drone. And get this hackles right up.
Yeah, when my
toothbrush and rubbing alcohol. That's right, Night Train.
I'm definitely going to replace it with a Swell Pro. I'm going to definitely go totally waterproof next time. That's the plan anyway.
It's
I've heard pluses and minuses about swell pros, but
yeah, so have I. I think on balance, though, it'll be good for me because it's water everywhere, rivers, lakes. I mean, I can't not fly over water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so opposed to flying over deep water. For water, I can't swim to get my quad out because I've lost two quads in the same damn canal.
Oh, ouch.
I got one of them back. I got one of the quads back though, 2 years later with a bunch of zebra mussels on it.
What's that, Baduga?
At least you found one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you ought to get some quad life jackets.
Well,
I guess some guys take the pool noodles and put them on.
Yep.
That's
so
what
it kind of makes it at least a little bit buoyant. Kind of brings it back up to the surface.
It'll still kill it though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I had to send mine back to DJI, and at least I got a new drone.
Did anybody see in Ken Herron's channel like a couple of weeks ago where some guy sent in a video where he put a DJI, ran into a tree, fell over, and went into the water, and he had to trudge out there and get it out of the water. And he took everything apart and put it in the refrigerator and let it sit for a day because the refrigerator is the dehydrator.
Like you do with pork.
Yeah.
When you dry out pork to get crackling.
Really?
Same deal. Yep.
And he flew it fine afterwards without a problem.
Never thought of that.
Never heard of that.
I didn't either. I was amazed, and he had an X5 camera hanging underneath it, and he took that and he took the lens off, set it in there, turned the camera so that the image, and the receptacle was down, and he put his batteries in there, lined them up, closed it up for a day, and flew fine.
I had my Mavic there in a bag of rice for 5 days. Didn't fix it.
Why it works
rice doesn't work.
Why it works is that the refrigerator is actually to preserve your food. It's to actually draw the moisture away from any food, and that's what stops the bacteria from growing. Hence, that's what to do when you put a drone in there. It takes the moisture levels out of the product, sucks it out, and dries it out.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why it does it.
I've heard of guys putting their circuit boards in the oven. Do you know why?
Not to bake off the water, right?
No.
Bake off moisture. No. I don't know. They made a mistake. They were high. They thought they were putting in a tray of muffins and actually put in their quad.
So
it was Paul putting his quad in there.
I was gonna bake muffins, but then I got high.
So what it is if you find that like a USB connector has kind of like come loose a little bit, or there's a couple of diodes or whatever that might have popped up, you put it in the oven. Yeah, you put it in the oven. Keep it all nice and like flat and such, and you heat it up to the point where the solder melts and they kind of reseat.
You'd have to watch that like a hawk, or you'd end up with one fried little cookie.
Yeah,
And Night Train answered it in the comments here in the chat.
Okay, guys, my quad is done. I have my OK Firefly micro mounted, so I'm
no worries, Paducah.
I'm
good to see you, mate.
Have a good flight, my friend.
Someone please tell Kim that this camera has the battery built in.
There you go.
That the camera doesn't have a battery, but that's the battery, right?
The only thing that camera, I love that camera. My friend had one of them, and they're like $20, the Firefly, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about that camera though is you can't fix the exposure level on it when it looks at the sun. It makes the sun look like it's a black spot.
Black spot. But there's being a release of version 2 of this camera in the end of this month.
Hopefully they fix that.
Yeah, I hope so. But I didn't heard nothing about settings on that too. So I'm waiting to see. But it's around $50 and it's capable of 2.5K, 1080 60 frames per second, and it only weighs 31 grams. So it's interesting also. This one weighs 14. Okay, guys, I'm out. I'm going to fly. It's almost lunchtime here. So
have a good day, Baduga. Enjoy that beautiful Lisbon weather.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Later,
bye,
everyone. I'll catch you guys later.
See you.
I see
Mitch.
Hey.
I see one of our Southern warm boys has joined the group.
Old fart in a drone. I mean, old guy in a drone.
Either way,
Mitch and his drone.
Either way, I'm still old. I don't care how you say it.
There you go, Mitch.
Trev, how you doing, my friend?
I'm going wicked.
All right, watch out, people. Roger's in here.
Is he?
Oh, where is he? Where is he?
Good morning, Roger.
Roger.
Good morning, Roger.
I don't see Roger. Where?
Goodness.
Oh,
He's at Canadian Trader.
In the chat.
We're the warm up. Well, I guess we're the warm up crew to his thing here.
Just remember, today is his last day for his birthday week celebration.
Oh God!
I like it. I like
dragging it.
I like it how people say, "Oh, Roger's in here." It's like he's the headmaster walking in at the school. In the
Quick,
school
the teacher's
classroom.
coming! Quick!
It's like that.
He's the godfather, you know.
Funny.
Well, I sent him a link. I don't know if we can entice him to join or not.
I don't know if we can fit him in, but it'd be good fun if we could try.
Are you going to pay him overtime there or what? Because man, he's a hard-working man.
Well, I seem to have taken Baduga's place anyway.
Just slip
yeah. Well, we had 9 on the other morning.
Yeah.
I've upgraded my hat.
Have you?
Cool.
There you go.
Oh my god! I got to deal with this cat.
Hey, Eric.
I got tired of not being able to wear a hat and vlog at the same time, and squinting while I was trying to fly my RC. You know, so I finally bought one of these damn hat mounts.
There you go.
Very exciting.
They work well.
Whose kitty is that?
She won't leave me. She won't leave me alone unless I give her the love in the morning. So,
Oh, what a beautiful kitty.
What a pretty kitty.
she's a Maine Coon, a big girl.
I got a coon hound.
You could make a nice raccoon hat out of that.
Ooh. Oh,
Oh, poor little kitty.
oh, that's pretty sweet.
Are we done here?
What's her name?
Stella.
Oh my God. Stella!
That's what our kid was going to be named until good thing she came along first, because then our little girl Catherine wouldn't have been named Stella.
Oh my God.
My oldest would have been named Zuleika if I hadn't put down my foot.
Say what?
So the weather must be really bad up there. There was no sunrise activity this morning. Only Dennis Lovelady reciting poetry. That was about it.
Yeah.
Snowing hard here in Canada, Mitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's
that
that white stuff that falls.
You better
We
get
had-
your room ready for me.
Mitch, we had ice and rain here overnight, and now we've got gusting to 45-mile-an-hour winds.
Wow. Well, it's beautiful. We got beautiful weather here this morning, and I should have gone out and done the sunrise. I could have. It was an hour later, of course, and it was a beautiful sunrise here this morning. But I figured, God, everybody and their brother's on with sunrises. Why should there's no room for me.
You'd have had the whole show to yourself.
Looks that way.
What did Mike do? He did I saw a nighttime video or something.
Yes,
from him
he
earlier this
did.
morning.
I just watched it before it came over here. It's Mike Philly Drone. He does such a spectacular shots of Philadelphia, and he was flying the Mavic 2 Pro, not as the Zoom that he's usually been flying, and for the night shots, and they were just absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, there's no doubt, Paul, that camera excels at night.
Yeah.
Which one, the Zoom or the regular?
The Pro.
The Pro, yeah,
Pro.
with that extra sensor size.
Well, Mitch, the interesting thing is on my Enterprise, which has the Zoom, they expanded how much you can increase your apertures and everything else and allowing light to come in exponentially compared to the regular Zoom.
Okay.
For night searches, yeah.
They must have bumped the ISO on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have an aperture.
The ISO, yep.
Yeah. Well, they're not. I don't think they're as concerned about it being grainy as if you were actually,
See somebody.
being a photographer. You're just looking for a blob that glows.
Yep.
There are some FPV cameras, the Night Owl from Foxeer, that you can totally see in night. Gives you full night vision. It's amazing.
I just got a notice on my phone that Roosevelt is streaming. It says YouTube live streaming from the Mavic Air, so he might have just come on live from somewhere.
Cool.
He just popped on.
So Lewis, you guys really, I have to blame all you guys for this ridiculous FPV bug that I seem to have gotten. It's all your fault, man. I watched you build those 10-minute things playing with that soldering iron and brought back memories and said, I got it.
See, Lewis?
Yeah. I warned Mark about it too from Centroid Aerial Images that I'm not responsible.
Well, I'm going to do my first outdoor FPV whoop flight this morning in a little while. I got everything working. I got the little a Snapper 7 and the goggles, and everything's programmed and everything's ready to go. And I flew it in the house a little bit last night, but I got to tell you, it's a little bit, unless you're moving forward, you know how it is. Unless you're actually moving forward, it's very hard. And I don't have a real big place here, so I discovered dirt under the refrigerator. I discovered the fringe
at the very least,
on the end of
it's
the
a good cleaning tool. It helps you to know where you haven't cleaned in a while.
Yeah, and the fringe on the ends of the throw rugs, it makes a beeline right for that, tangles them all.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
Hey, Mitch, make sure when you're outdoors now, first time, maybe Paul could explain if I'm right or wrong. Take a chair. Don't stand up.
Well, the thing has got this little 1S battery, and I'll tell you, it really performs. That little thing really performs with that 1S battery, but you get about 3 minutes, 3.5, 3 minutes tops. So I figure I could probably stand for 3 minutes.
Well, he's worried about you falling over from the visual.
That's what I'm going to say. Yeah,
I hadn't thought about that, but you maybe.
Mitch, or bring a spare camera so you can film it.
Yeah. I'm going to set up
when you fall over.
I'm going to
fall over.
I'm going to set the GoPro up on a tripod pointed at me, and then I'm going to set the DVR on to record the flight. And I figured that you guys will have a real good laugh out of this thing when I post.
I can't wait. That'll be awesome.
Yes, can't wait.
Mitch, I'll tell you the little story. The reason I asked, I was down in the park on the water, and I was flying doing my ship thing, and I looked over, and here's an older guy, about my age, maybe a little younger, and I could tell he's kind of fumbling around trying to figure out this FPV set. Either his grandsons or his, but he's alone in the park, and he sets it all up, and he puts the goggles on, and I think they were Fat Sharks, puts them on, and he's standing there and takes off. And, the first time you take off, you don't know what you're doing. I mean, that thing shot straight up in the air and started doing flips and loops and everything else. And the next thing I look over at him, and he's laying flat on his back on the ground. He just fell right over. And so then, of course, followed by the drone came down. And then he takes the goggles off, sits up from the ground, and he looks around like, does anybody see me do that?
That's funny.
It is funny. That's why I said take a spare camera.
I'll tell you two things, Mitch. There you go. Nice.
This is it. And I mean, it's no. I had no idea. I'd never seen or held one of these little whoops. The thing is no bigger than the palm of my hand.
Okay, no, wait a minute. Hold on, everybody, calm down. That's not a tiny whoop.
That's a Snapper. No, it's not a tiny whoop. It's a Snapper 7.
It's not even in a tiny whoop class, brother.
I know that. That's why.
That's a brushless whoop.
It is, yes, yeah. And
so Asgard, that's what you want.
So where did you get that, Mitch? Where did you buy it?
Amazon, $100.
And what's it?
Free Amazon, $100, free next day delivery.
And what's that one called again?
Snapper 7.
The Snapper 7. Okay.
And I mean, this thing has got all the gadgets, it's got the telemetry, on-screen display, the built-in camera, all the modes. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a good little drone. Now, Mitch, what flavor did you get it in? Are you a Tyrannus, Spectrum?
It's the Tyrannus. I got the Tyrannus as the 7S model, the one that's a little bit upgraded.
Well, any Tyrannus, as long as it's FR Sky, it'll hook up to it.
Yeah, it comes with the Tyrannus receiver. It was just the easy as hell to bind it, and of course, hours and hours and hours on learning how to do the beta flight. Because I got Lewis, I've got a Tyro 99 coming for my first real drone.
Okay.
And I figured, you know what, before I, do all that, I should probably get one of these little things. Because
you'll learn a lot from it. It's all transferable.
Just get used to this. But man, programming this thing, and interesting. It's really funny. I got it all hooked up first, and I turn it on, and I want to see if the throttle works. So I finally figured out how to make the arming switch work. So I got that working. But every time I hit the throttle, nothing happened. But if I moved the right stick around, the motors would go, and I didn't know what the hell that was. Finally, after 2 hours of looking all over the internet, learned what turtle mode is.
Yeah, you had it in turtle mode. Yeah, and
it had itself in turtle mode. And when I finally went back into beta flight and saw that turtle mode, that the flip mode was turned on, the way that I hadn't programmed a switch on the transmitter.
You actually inadvertently had turtle mode on, and that's why it was.
And I was ready to box it. After 2 hours, I was ready to box it up and send it back. But that's why it's great, because it's such a learning experience.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy that those everything is so complicated. But once you kind of get an idea of what you're doing, it's easy to problem solve that sort of stuff. So you know, like that probably came out of the box, beta flighted, all up and ready for you. All you had to do was just put in the channels on your Tyrannus, right?
Correct.
You know,
correct.
You know, throttle was channel 1, 2, and all that.
And then it had 4 flight channels already set up correctly.
Right, but then you had to put in your arming switch and all that stuff.
The problem was that it had all the directions, but I had not programmed a Tyrannus yet. And when I created the model, of course, it didn't create aux1, aux2, aux3. It didn't
right. So you have to put those in the mixer yourself, and that's one of the things and that's that's an easy forget. I've done that before. I was like, why the hell isn't this thing arming? I created. Oh, that's right. I forgot to put the arming switches on it and model them. But small things like that stop a lot of people, because frustration like that got me pissed off all the time. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Why? And you know, I would go days and it would just sit and stare and get me mad. So, and that was back in the day, like 2-3 years ago, when there was not an FPV community. I mean, I swear to God, I got in on this at the ground floor, where the only place I could go to get help were 3 places: Blue Falcon, Painless 360, and Flight Test. Those were the only guys, and Peter Thorall or whatever for a little bit for doing tricopters and stuff like that. But other than that, you had no idea. Now, 2 years later, 2.5 years later, you've got tons of saturation of people knowing how to do what they're doing and telling everybody else how to do it. But they're still missing a lot of those small little things, like how to program a Tyrannus.
Yeah,
how to problem solve things.
I've discovered Blue Falcon already. Believe me, I've watched, and in fact, I watched his video. And my project for later today is to put the SD card in the Tyrannus, get all the sound shit in there, so it talks.
You flick the switches. You know, Pickle Rick.
I like that.
Yeah.
What really blew me away was when I went in and turned the telemetry on. It all worked. It's so amazing.
Yeah. So did you program your OSD and everything? Get everything squared away to where you can see? And
yeah, I did. I got all the things I want on there. Of course, I
got the false horizon going. I
didn't do that yet. I think that would probably confuse me more than actually looking at the real horizon. But it's amazing the options that you have. It's just and with the telemetry, you can actually display your altitude right on your display. It'll send that back. Your heading. You can.
Well. Now don't get too ahead of yourself. You got to have other components to interact with that. So you would have to have a barometer to show your alto.
Because this little drone has all that. I think it actually sends altitude back. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't have that, but it's got this little all-in-one board there.
Yeah, well, those boards are very sophisticated, where you can put GPS on it and put a whole bunch. You could probably put a whole Pixhawk on it. Do you know what a Pixhawk is?
I have no idea what that is.
A Pixhawk is like a really high-end flight controller, where you usually use those with DJIs that people build. The Inspires and all those things are all used with Pixhawk, and they have mission planner or something like that is the software to run it, and it is quite. You think beta flight is tough?
Can you imagine doing that with something this size?
People are doing it. People are doing it.
Spy drone. You program it to go around and check out.
Well, okay. So those little drones, I don't know if anybody saw it recently just on Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show. He had small little drones just like that size, the autonomous drones where a guy, programmed a little dance that they did. And through engineering and the computer and all the software, it was able to roll around and do stuff. And these drones were hand activated, where you could like do something like I think that the thing was do this, and they would orbit around you.
Oh,
you could do something like this, and then they would react to commands. It's amazing, and they weren't any bigger than these little guys here.
Now that's cute. Which one is that?
This one is in between. So here's your typical tiny whoop. And then this is just the next size up. It's still brushed motors, but it's on a carbon fiber frame that is run by a Beta Flight board and an all-in-one camera in there.
Well, that's cool. I'll tell you one thing. Speaking of cameras, one thing I did, Lewis, in watching 5,000 videos about that Tyro 99 build, I did upgrade the camera. I went ahead and bought myself that little RunCam micro camera. Because I figured for my first FPV flying, the last thing I want to be is handicapped by a mediocre camera with a narrow field of view.
Yeah, so that's got the 700 TVL or something along those lines, where it's not really fisheye, but you're really gonna get a good wide field of view.
But for $100 to get a whole kit like that, for $100, you can throw the camera away, for God's sakes. You still got a good deal.
Hey, Paul, my question would be: has anybody developed or offered for sale a micro 3-axis gimbal?
No.
The smallest I've ever seen was the one on the Pocket Osmo.
Yeah. But I was thinking, really shrink it down.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. See. I think that you would be getting into. I don't know if that would be a great application for a small drone. Have you seen any like the Sina whoops?
Yeah.
That stuff is where it's at. Where you're gonna put a GoPro Hero or a GoPro 7 Black or whatever with the super stabilizing mode on it, and you're going to fly an oversized duck diversion of one of these.
Okay.
And the video that they make from it is exquisite. It's it's beautiful stuff.
I was just, in my mind, I was thinking, the way technology runs and these young engineers and stuff, I was just thinking that they would come up with a camera, 3-axis gimbal about this size,
They probably have one. Government probably has it, but
give DJI 3 or 4 more years, Paul, and we'll probably have absolutely the equivalent of a Mavic 2 Pro in something this size that weighs 30 grams. And
heck, Mitch, I wouldn't even give it that long. I'd say like a half a year.
I reckon.
Because the military's already got that stuff.
Oh yeah.
The tiny little drone technology. They have drones like insects, don't they?
Yeah. Those little. What I like is the military one. It's like a little hummingbird. It's it's silent. They just throw it up in the air and they control it with their thumb on a little thing in their hand and
it's all
an eye patch. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that too, Paul. That stuff is like amazing.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you one thing, Lewis. When you do have to register these bigger drones, don't you, and put a number on them?
Now you do, but that'll change.
Yeah,
that pendulum keeps swinging. We haven't settled in on anything yet.
These little tiny things. There's no rules about them. So if you keep them under 250 grams, you don't have to worry about airports and anything.
No. You got to keep it. You got to keep it under 0.55 grams. Or 55 pounds, so 100. So it's like a 200 grams or sub.
250 grams.
Right. Yeah. So this with the battery weighs about 40 something, 30 something. So it's not nowhere near close.
So this one here is a 3S build that will go probably 70 or so miles an hour. And it's under 170 grams. I think it came in at like 168 grams point something.
Yeah, then you're good with that.
So I can also do high definition video on this too once I put a CADX turtle in this stack. So I'll have a high definition flying 5-inch type of drone that's, I think this is a 2.5-inch drone under legal limit.
Now,
so that's amazing to me. That's how small we're getting.
That CADX camera has an SD card in it, correct?
This particular one does not, but the one that I'm soon going to be putting in it called the Turtle will.
The Turtle, yeah. Now, there's another little drone I looked at called the Beta FPV 85X. Have you heard of that one?
Mm-hmm.
And they have two versions of that. They have a regular, and then they have one that comes with that camera. With the, but they want $200 for it. And I'm saying to myself, you know, if you're going to spend $200 for a drone, you can get yourself quite a little machine, can't you?
This one came in. This one probably came in at about 150.
Okay.
It's got the Emax motors, which are like $16 a pop. $30 for the $20 for the 4-in-1 ESC, $30 for the flight controller. It's a small version. Excuse me, small version of the CL Racing, and another $20 for the VTX.
That's quite a rugged looking frame.
It's an Eclair Airblades frame, and it's all carbon fiber. And because it's small, though it's fast, I've slammed this dead up into a wall, and the only thing I broke was the prop.
Wow, that's what I need.
I'm not saying it's not going to break, but I mean it's pretty robust.
Well, I'll tell you, it's frustrating, like you said. Sometimes you want to beat your head against the wall, but once I'm starting to get the concept of how all the technology works in it. It took me a couple days, but once you get that, I think this is going to be a real fun part of the hobby.
It's exciting. And that's what frustrates me the most is with all of these regulations. Yeah, we need people to stay in check, but at the same time, we're going to be kiboshing a lot of people's fun and understanding of these systems. And it's like it kind of goes back to when I was a kid. Like I didn't learn combustion engines until I was older, and I didn't have a reason to learn them only because I'm a musician. What do I need to know how to fix a car for? I play an instrument. Well, my dad used to work on cars and all, and I always felt like I missed that part of it. So I started learning about it. And then now this is the same damn thing that I feel with drones and new technology. If you don't understand the software and how it integrates with the new emerging hardware that's moving like this, you're going to be just left right behind. And you're not going to know what button to push when you're 90 years old, if we all make it, to know which button is going to wipe your butt or pick your nose. And I want to know that when I'm older.
I want to get that right. So I'm saying.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So it's just that's kind of where I'm pushing towards is look, if we stop people from learning this stuff, people are going to learn it anyways and do nefarious things with it regardless. But why not educate and get people to understand and not kibosh at all and have fun with it?
Louis, did you ever fly RC before this?
Not really, no. I was an RC guy when I was a kid. As far as, my mom and dad would get me the RC car toy, for Christmas. I had an RC boat that I played with. But one of the things that I never flew anything. I personally never flew anything. My parents bought me all this stuff, but they got to play with it. Where my dad bought, my grandfather and dad bought me one of those planes on a string back in the day.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, and it was gas engine, powered, and my dad flew it once with me like stuck right next to him, and we just kept going around in circles, so I didn't really do anything. But when I was a kid at a campground, I saw this guy with the huge box and this big helicopter, and he flew it. It was an RC helicopter. I think it must have been in like '82 or '83.
That was early. Well, that was right at the beginning of the RC.
Yeah, and man, we were at this campground and we had, all the kids were gathered around and we watched him, and all he did was hover it, and that still stuck with me, And then my wife, unfortunately, poor thing, buys me a drone for Christmas 3 years ago, AR Parrot drone, where you link it up to your phone and stuff. And then I saw Crash Session, which had the drones, the French guys on their lunch break flying FPV drones, one of the first FPV videos out there. Oh my God, I had to do it. I just, within days of me getting the drone for Christmas, I saw the video and I was like maybe close to $1,000 in debt. I was like, I need it. Threw it on the credit card and then never looked back. And now, I'm still paying for it.
But what I noticed is, I haven't spent a lot of money on the FPVs, but I got the Viper goggles. They were $160, $70. The transmitter was a couple hundred, and the drones, but it's still, when I add it all up, it still doesn't come out to half of what a Mavic Zoom costs. So I get it that way too.
And I'm sorry, guys, but I don't think you have as much fun flying the Mavic as you do flying FPV. It's all about that immersion and flying and
taking pictures, man.
Yeah. Well, and that's what a lot of people, when they ask me, I want to get a drone, and I say, well, the question I ask them back is, well, what do you want to do with that drone? Do you want to just take pictures with it? Do you want to have fun with it? Because there are different there are different drones for different applications.
Yep. And there's a lot more, like you say, that are crossing over, and doing both.
Well, look, flying a drone is fun. I don't care if it's flying at line of sight, FPV, or both, or one of the two, or just letting it loiter and sit up there. It's amazing to see that you have control over the skies.
Yep.
The rush,
but where the difference is for me is just like that rush, that adrenaline gets me going, and I'm always nervous every time before I fly. I'm like, it's just so exciting because you're throwing around $1,000 in the air and you hope you get it back.
Well, that excites me less as I get older.
That same nervousness goes for all of us, because like when I throw that new Enterprise Duo up in the air with $3,000 drone, it's like I get nervous too, but over time, you start to be able to categorize it and put that in a little box over here. It's still there, but you also know you've done this hundreds of times, so, Well,
I'm not nervous. I'm not as nervous about making a mistake flying as I am about the technology failing. That's the only fear that I have when I fly these expensive Mavic. You get it out there half a mile away, and what if something craps out on you?
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I haven't really ventured to long range yet, and I don't really have any places to go for long range unless I go to Lake Ontario and go over the water, and I ain't doing that.
Louis, the reason I asked you about RC was, I flew RC all my life. I mean, every aspect, from aerobatics to helicopters to turbine jets, and after that much flying, it's so reflexive for me, and so there's so much muscle memory that I'm afraid that's going to actually get in the way of flying these FPV drones, because instinctively, I'll give you one example. Instinctively, when you're flying an airplane, whether it's a 200-mile-an-hour jet or whether it's just a little World War I biplane replica, when you roll into a bank, to make a turn, you pull back on the elevator. That's how you fly. But you know what I mean? And that is as much a combination move in my brain. Want to turn, roll, pull back. Well, you don't do that with the drones. You do that, you're sitting up there flying backwards. So that's the hardest thing in flying the simulator for me, is to not do that. And I think it's just going to take a lot of time and practice.
Well, so the difference for me is I started to live in like the 3 different worlds where I was trying to fly. Well, actually 4 if you pump it out. I was trying to fly line of sight, learn how to fly at line of sight in a locked in or horizon mode. I was also trying to learn how to fly line of sight in an acro mode after a while. You know, I was like, okay, let me see how I can keep it steady in acro mode, because that's just like taking the training wheels off. And I was learning how to fly in both of those modes in FPV. So I was trying to do it all at once, and I don't know if that was good or bad, but I think it was good for me. I don't know if it's good for everybody, but because I was trying all those different modes, my head was ready for anything. And maybe for you, because you're locked into, you know, because throttle doesn't mean as much to a fixed wing as throttle does to a quad car.
Well, I have the. I'm lucky in that I've got a lot of helicopter flying, RC helicopter.
So that's like
very close, very close.
Yeah.
Very close.
Was it collective pitch helicopter?
Yeah, and but your throttle control is both coupled to the engine, to the motor, and collective pitch. So basically, the same thing. You push the throttle up, you get more lift. You pull the throttle up,
right.
You get
So that's going to help you with the FPV and the quad flying. You know, that line of sight.
Much more like a helicopter, because the left stick on a helicopter. See, when you take a helicopter and you use the right stick, all that does is control the rotor angle. Okay, and just like in acro mode on a quad, when you tilt that helicopter sideways, unless you go tilt it back, it stays there. And when you tilt it sideways, you're still not turning. You're basically tilting it sideways. The only way to turn is to use the left stick to fly the tail around.
Mm-hmm. So now you've got the idea of mixing the two.
You have to in a helicopter.
Yeah, and that's what's happening with the quadcopters too. You can, for me, flying line of sight, I found that throttle and yaw was very important for direction. Okay, once I started doing the mix of the stick, it would confuse me, because when I would come in nose in, my yaw was much more responsive for me being the backwards and so on and so forth. Yeah. So that's how I learned very much line of sight was more throttle and yaw. But then when you put the goggles on, then you've got authority, because left is left and right is right.
Right.
And then you can start to mix those, and then you can feel those banks and those different turns, and then being able to do like an S split and up and over, so where you're inverted and all that stuff. It's weird, but it'll flow into, I guess is what I'm saying, because you're going to get used to how that machine flies and how you feel in that machine, especially with the FPV. I guess it's kind of like you get in your wife's car and it's really, you know, it's a small little, you know, convertible car, and then you get into your big old truck and it's more a hoopty style, and you just adapt to that type of vehicle.
Hey guys, it's time for me to let you all go to Rogers.
Uh-oh. I got to get coffee anyways.
Yeah, well, thanks for inviting me in. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it, and I learned something. Thank you.
Well, hey, Mitch, make sure you check out Mark at Centroid Aerial Vision. I keep forgetting his name, too. I know Mitch's name, old guy in a drone, but now my buddy Mark over here. But I'm going to be doing... Central. I'm going to be doing a build, and I'm going to take it all the way up to the beta flight level 2. So after I build the damn thing, I'm going to show you how to program it and what I do in my programming on beta flight. So that'll be next week into early week after next. Okay.
I'll look for that.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Bye guys. See you on Canadian Drone Hub probably.
Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks everybody in the chat for coming. You all
thanks, man.
Have a great one, and God bless.
See you later.
Cop out.
Thanks, Rick.
You bet.
I put